Bill Johnson desperately needs your help. Please don't let him down in this difficult time. Usually, Bill can brag about the miracles that supposedly happen every day at Bethel, but it's getting harder and harder to do so.
Now, Bethel Church in Redding is working to contain a coronavirus outbreak after students and staff tested positive. Action News Now reporter Anna Torrea shows us what's being done to keep more people from getting sick.
Now, Bethel says that a portion of these new coronavirus cases here in Shasta County came from its staff and students. And now the church and school is taking swift action to make sure that the virus doesn't spread to the rest of the community. Recently, Shasta County Public Health has seen an uptick in coronavirus cases, especially in college-age groups.
Heal the sick, cleanse the lepers, raise the dead, cast out demons. Freely you have received, freely give. What I'd like for you to notice, it didn't say pray for the sick.
Come on now. Come on now, Bill. Come on.
It said heal the sick. Yeah, well, Bill, we're not healers. I know.
On Thursday, Bethel Church and its School of Supernatural Ministry acknowledged several cases from its students and staff.
Bill Johnson has books to sell. Bill Johnson has speaking fees to collect. Please don't let him down. Some people are asking him difficult questions. They are forcing him to admit to his failed and contradictory theology. Here's an example of the hatred that poor Bill is getting on Instagram.
The tragedy in this day is that we have many people filled with knowledge that cannot demonstrate what they know and what they believe. They cannot demonstrate what they know and what they believe. God's called us. When he gives us insight, he invites us to come to know the God of provision, the God of healing, the God of healing, the God of healing. The tragedy in this day cannot demonstrate. The tragedy in this day cannot demonstrate.
There isn't a plan B. When he passed the baton to the church, and he says, all right, I'm the light of the world, and then he says, all right, now you're the light of the world, he was actually passing off a responsibility that he refused to come and reclaim. When he told the disciples to, they had a crowd in front of them, they've only got a boy's lunch, they have no way to feed the crowd, there's no food anywhere except a boy's lunch. Jesus said to them, you feed them. And when they were dumbfounded as to how that could even be possible, Jesus didn't change the assignment. Instead, he showed them how to do what was impossible to do. Sometimes when you're willing to do what you're not qualified to do, that's what qualifies you. The impossible is at the fingertips of those who say yes to anything God commands, because in the command is the ability to do what he said to do. Instead, he showed them how to do what was impossible to do. Sometimes when you're willing to do what you're not qualified to do, that's what qualifies you. The impossible is at the fingertips of those who say yes to anything God commands, because in the command is the ability to do what he said to do.
The tragedy in this day is that we have many people filled with knowledge that cannot demonstrate what they know and what they believe.
I'd like to suggest to you that if everyone believed miracles were for today, actually could demonstrate them, there would no longer be a group of people that didn't believe they were for today.
Bill Johnson is getting rich, writing books and making speeches about doing miracles today. Why doesn't he actually do the stuff he talks about? Why is he still writing more books and making more speeches about this? But in order to cover up his own glaring hypocrisy, he scolds everyone else who isn't doing all of the miracles.
It's the living witness of having a theology that we can't demonstrate.
You were in Brazil speaking, and you got a call no son ever wants to get. You have meetings, and miracles are going on, and you get a phone call. What were you informed?
I got a call that my dad had what we thought was going to be a minor procedure. When they opened him up, they found that he had pancreatic cancer, which is one of the worst kinds of cancer you can have. I was there with my really dear friend Randy Clark, joining him in
Now you have two great miracle ministries, and your own dad calls, and he has an impossible situation. Just out of curiosity, what went through your mind when he said that to you?
It's time for a miracle. It was time for a miracle. So I got released from Randy to fly home immediately. I caught the next flight out and flew home, and then over the next several months, spent many times ministering to him, praying for him, away from him, as well in prayer, and just contending for that breakthrough, for that miracle.
But you didn't have a miracle.
No.
So your dad died.
It's the living witness of having a theology that we can't demonstrate, that speaks against us.
Bill needs you to step up to the plate and believe everything he tells you, even when it's proven wrong. Bill should be healing everyone with COVID-19, but he's not. And that's none of your business.
There are practical things we can do. Obviously, the biggest thing is to pray, to call people on the phone, encourage them, find out how they're doing. We have folks that are able to deliver food to some of the seniors that can't get out, and there are situations like that where we're just showing, it's just practical compassion. To be honest, you don't even have to be a believer to do that and to do it well. It's just practical compassion and serving people. But this is the moment for us to do that. We can buy gift cards from stores that are having to close down. One of my favorite restaurants in town just had to close, and I'm wanting to buy a bunch of gift cards for friends that I can give to, because I want to sow into their future. I want to make sure that these businesses that really pour out their lives for the well-being of a community. I really want them to prosper in this time, and I want to be a part of it. So there's a lot of things like this that we can do that are very practical.
If you just healed people who had COVID-19, that would be a practical way to help. He doesn't mention that.
The tragedy in this day is that we have many people filled with knowledge that cannot demonstrate what they know and what they believe.
Bill Johnson is very famous, and he seems sincere, and that's all you need to know. Got it?